evening, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Sounds of the Diaspora, Artist to Artist, a conversation with Dion Parson. I want to thank you all for joining us tonight as we bring to the platform an amazing drummer, gentleman that I've known for quite some time, and he's a personal friend, and we're actually neighbors in the Caribbean. I'm from St. Thomas, he's from Puerto Rico. He's a drummer, composer, arranger, producer, and educator. Please join me in welcoming to the show the one and only Mr. Henry Cole.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Dion. Thank you for having me on the show.
Yes, sir. Henry, how are you today, man?
I'm feeling great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I love
Hmm.
your background, man. You got the kid in the back.
I got some drums there, man.
Yeah.
Some drums ready, some mics ready to roll.
Yes. Good, 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 man. So you're in Puerto Rico, huh?
Right now, I am in Aurea, which is in San Juan, in Puerto Rico. Yes.
Good, good. And how does it feel to be back home?
I've been here since 2018
Uh-huh.
after fire in my apartment in New York City. And I moved here, and then COVID happened, things happened, and I decided to stay. And it's been wonderful. It's a different experience than New York, and I think I'm very grateful for the process of being back and rebuild the whole thing from a
Right.
very different perspective after the experience of New York City.
Right. So I'm sure our audience is like, man, Puerto Rico, New York City, Puerto Rico. Like, so how was New York versus Puerto Rico? What's the big difference besides being able to hang out and play every night?
That's a great question. That's a great question, and I have to say that the things that you need to survive in Puerto Rico, they're not the same skills that you need in New York, and backwards. The things that you need in New York are not the ones that you need in Puerto Rico. So I have to relearn the whole thing again, uh, which is a wonderful if you're open to doing so. I'm sure you understand,
Mhm.
and and I think the difference in New York City is that basically you live in your room, you practice all day, you live in your room, and then from your room you go out, and that's it. And so it's very concentrated. Here
Right.
in Puerto Rico, the energy is more open. You can go to the beach. That is more space, like the island.
Hmm.
And also, I think in New York, you learn how to really get the most out of what you have. If you have a square of a place, that's where you're going to do the gig, and you're going to play the best as you can.
Right.
So you learn that by being in your city, which is wonderful. Besides all the great musicians and all the friends, of course.
Yeah. Well, and also, and that's great. New York is very focus driven. Like you
Yes,
have to be on point for
that's
everything. When you show up, you have to be ready to go. Even if you go to somebody's gig to hang out and support, they say, "Oh man, Henry's here. Hey man, come play a tune." And you got to be ready like all the time to play. That's the energy of New York.
that's the energy. That's the energy. I
Right.
remember playing one of my first gigs was at the restaurant, and I was thinking that you go to a restaurant, it's very chill, the vibe. No, man, these guys were playing hard, and the restaurant, it was a brunch gig. We're playing 7/8, 5/8, everything. It was like, whoa, this is
Yeah.
fire at the brunch gig. So
Every opportunity you have to play in New York is like the last opportunity you have to
so
play.
you learn how to, as I said, you learn how to really squeeze what you have in front of
Right.
you.
Right.
That's
But the
amazing.
but the beautiful thing coming from a Caribbean island, especially Puerto Rico, where it's so rich in culture, you bring a different, uh, how should I say, concept musically to New York because and after living in New York, there's how should I say, there's a emergence rather of different cultures. There's a lot of cats from Haiti,
Hmm.
from different parts of the community
Oh yeah,
Caribbean
everyone.
come into New York, bringing that cultural stuff. So it's not just coming to play spangalang, spangalang
No,
anymore. You
no,
have
no.
to be very versatile these days because once people hear you from the Caribbean, they expect you to do all of these other things, and that's part of the scene now that has emerged in New York because it's not just straight ahead. Straight ahead still prevails, and that's the foundation
That's the
as
thing.
a jazz musician. But from a cultural standpoint, there's so many other components that's happening right now, and you brought that to the stage. I think the first time I met you was at the Vanguard. You may have been playing with Danilo Perez. Eh,
I did not with Danilo, but I did a gig with Fabian Almazan, and early on, my first gig was Sub in the Adam Rogers
Adam
band.
Rogers, yes, and
Uh,
that's yeah,
with a
yeah.
great, great. and you're right, but I think now that I'm back, now I can fly again to the Vanguard from Puerto Rico
Right.
with the New York baggage and the New York lessons, but also the lessons now from here.
Yeah.
So it's very special actually to do it, to go back to New York City energy from here.
Right. It is. It is to be
It's
able
very
to do
special.
that, and it's special in the way that when you come back home, like I'm living in the Virgin Islands, when I come back home, I bring all of this knowledge and information back,
Yes,
especially
awesome.
especially as an educator to my students to help them prepare as they get ready to make that leap to whether it's New York or Florida or wherever they're going for
Right.
school. Is important to have that connection, and that's something that I didn't have growing up. I didn't have that bridge. That bridge wasn't there. So
That's
now
true.
it's important. You've created that bridge. You and a couple other guys that's doing the same thing, which is great.
Yes, yes, yes. That's very important to go back and go. You know, so wonderful experience for sure. And I have to say it that even though nowadays you can basically uh, you stay anywhere if you want, but I always suggest for the young musicians like you must go to New York. You got to. Man, there's no way around it. There's no way. It keeps changing, but it keeps being a place that you need to absorb what's happening there if you're going to play jazz. I mean, there's no way around it. Do you agree? There's no
Yeah,
way around. There's
yeah.
no way around.
You have to experience it. You have to experience
No
it.
way
At
around.
some point,
No
you
way.
have to put that time in. It's part of the passage.
There's no way around. And I would tell young guys, yes, you can stay here, you can stay anywhere, but if you go there, yeah, that's the
Yeah,
difference.
it's part of the passage. I think everyone that comes to New York gets something valuable to take with them, and it's like, yeah, that's part of the rite of passage is to spend some time in New York. But like you say, you at this point you could live anywhere.
That's true.
You could
That's
live
true.
anywhere. Yeah. When I was coming up, you had to live in New York. I mean,
You have to.
you had to, yeah. But it's
Now
changed
you
a
live
little
in San Thomas.
bit.
I live in San Juan.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. I enjoy living back in the Virgin Islands. I miss the New York energy, and I miss all of the opportunities. Not only to play, you play a lot, but to go out and hear music. You
Yes.
could go out every night and hear different styles of music,
Yes.
and hear your heroes as well. So
Yes.
that's something that I do miss living in the Virgin Islands. But one of the plus was I was able to create a platform like this where I could have my friends like you on, so we can
Thank
talk.
you. Yeah,
So.
that's what we do. I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah, yes, yes, yes. So I want to go back to your musical upbringing because I've known you for a while, Henry, but I had no idea of the musical heritage that your family has. You started playing piano at 4 and then switched to drums at 9, but everybody in your family played music.
Basically, yes. My great grandfather from my father's side was from Cuba, from Santiago. He played the flute, and then he stayed in Mayagüez, where he married the Simón family, which all of them were musicians also. 12 musicians, and they would work in the theater for silent movies. They would do
Oh,
weddings. They would just work all the way. 12 brothers and sisters.
wow.
Uh, so after that, the generation of my father and my uncle, they were really great musicians. Also, my uncle was a great guitar player for the trio culture, the boleros, and all, really great. And my the brother of my grandfather, Roberto Cole, was a great composer. So I see them as they were not the solo artists that you see nowadays. They could work. They could work a lot. They could do many things. They could write, copy, arrange. They were really good at their job, which is to be a musician. Which was to
Right.
be a musician.
And that's great. You mentioned that. I still want to talk about your family, but you
Mhm.
mentioned that they were good at their job.
The job.
You and I come to New York and we're part of the jazz scene, and you develop yourself as a solo artist.
Mhm.
And the goal is to work with as many musicians as you can and build your reputation that way and do many recordings. But there's also the job of a musician, like being in
Yes.
an orchestra and playing Broadway shows, which I've done that as well. That's a different mindset. That's a different concept.
It's
That's
different
like a
concept.
24/7 thing.
Yeah, you get to be able to do many things. You arrange to be on time, to play by ear, to just transpose in the moment, just make things work like that, like do it. And
Right.
so that's very special. So I want to say that pay homage to those people those musicians that are great at working. Not focusing on the solo career, but just working things. I can arrange, I can compose, I can produce, I can record and stuff like that. That's amazing.
Right.
You know?
And for you, being able to do all of those things is very unique as a drummer, because most people think drummers just play drums and they don't
Yeah,
realize that drummer has a melodic concept as well. You know, you tune your drums, you learn the melodies, you sit behind the piano, you figure out the songs. And I think some of the best arrangers and composers are drummers as well.
and producers also too. Ray Barreto, a lot of great songs are usually written by drummers
Yeah.
and percussionists. For sure, for sure. I agree, 100%, 100%. Uh,
Yes.
and we learn from many different band leaders, and then you know we know how to carry a band, and we know how to make musicians feel good and comfortable,
Yeah.
and because we got to do it for our job. So when you have your band, if you have musicians that are happy around you, you're gonna sound better. They're gonna sound better.
Yeah. Yeah. So when did you decide to like be a professional musician, to like go out and pursue a solo career?
When I was 9, I took the sticks because I wanted to become a rock drummer, like many guys who start on drums. But then when I go to the music school, there was no drum set. There was not even a drum set teacher. So my teacher was a trumpet player who sat me on the practice pad with the Ruban elementary book, and that was it. That was it. That's what you get. Uh, so it was very disappointed at the beginning.
Mhm.
But nowadays, I think I was the luckiest, one of the luckiest persons, because that teacher taught me how to read music and to play with the recording, with CDs, with reading the charts
Mhm.
and reading. So my reading skills were really good. Uh, and he showed me how to be a professional musician, to
Right.
be on time, to learn the skills that you need to survive, to make money playing music.
Right.
So I appreciate that. That was great. So that was my experience at 9, and then at 15, I started playing ska music, and then punk and reggae, and from all the stuff that you play in the island, Latin jazz and so on.
Mhm. And a lot of that, when you was 15, a lot of that exposure came from just being outside,
Yes,
learning like on the job training, more or less.
yes, yes. I was 15, and usually guys were older than me, uh, and they would just carry me around to play with them,
Yeah.
back in Mayagüez. And then in San Juan, also, I went to the conservatory for classical percussion. Again, no jazz department, no popular music, but it was classical. So I learned marimba, timpani, and then I just kept playing drums every time, all the time. So my
Mhm.
first drum set teacher, I was much older, I took a lesson with John Riley. That was the first time I had a drum set teacher, a formal drum set teacher.
And that was at Manhattan School of Music.
Yeah, I went to Manhattan School of Music, and I also went to Berkeley for 6 months with study with Skip Haddon.
Hmm.
Uh, but back then, so by then I was already playing, so we would just talk and share, But my teachers were non-drummers, and I think that was a wonderful thing. I also a great mentor was Danilo Perez for sure, and David Sanchez. They were great mentors for me, and
Hmm.
again they showed me how to have consistent pulse, dynamics, textures, all the stuff,
Right.
all the
And
stuff that.
you play with David also, right?
Yes, I started playing with David in Puerto Rico, and then when I moved to New York, he
Yeah.
hired me to play some gigs in 2003, and that's when I played with Miguel and all that stuff. Yes, and
Yeah.
Hans.
Yeah. That's great. I mean, I remember hearing your name before you even got to New York, because coming from the Caribbean, there's not that many of us.
That's true. That's true, man. That's true.
So it's like, oh man, this is a young cat coming. You got, so
Amazing.
yeah, it's important. But and then you've went on to play with so many great musicians and
Yes,
develop yourself and your reputation as an amazing professional drummer. Um, and now you're teaching.
yes, I am teaching now, and I have to say that in a way, because you always think about moving somewhere else, but I have to say that when I was in Puerto Rico before moving to New York, I was working every day with everyone.
Yeah.
I did salsa, rock, jazz. everything. So I was not just sitting thinking about going somewhere else. I was working every day here. So
Yeah.
for me, it was very natural to go from here to New York, but I was already playing all styles. Uh,
Mhm.
so so I tell the younger drummers, if you're here, just play with everyone.
Mhm.
Just be the best that you can where you are, and that's
Right.
gonna take you. Uh, so now I'm entering more, let's say, formally the teaching phase, which I always love teaching, because I always it's a shared thing between the young students and myself. So you always learn something. You know how it is,
Mhm.
uh, and I'm happy. I'm really happy to just add that department formally to my career, my life.
And you have a lot of information to share. And a lot of
Thank
experience. Teaching this music is not always about the music. It's about the life and the mentoring. It's a mentoring process. And I think that's something that took me a minute to learn as I got out here and started to be a teacher, because a lot of times students have different ways of learning,
you.
and as a teacher, as a mentor, you have to find that way to teach them. Yes, you could say this is the paradiddle, right, left, right, left, right, left, left, but in the application and then how they do it, and especially as the students get older and more professional, it becomes more of a mentoring concept as well.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
totally, totally. About experience, about your routines,
Hmm.
uh, the mentoring, what kind of food you eat, what kind of stuff like that that you prefer. Because at some point, you know, you go into a room and everyone is talented. Uh,
Exactly.
at some point, everyone is talented. So those minor details, the micro approach to things, are that that 1 inch that makes a difference is in the small things, or that beyond the instrument. Mm.
Yeah, it makes a big difference to have that mentoring concept. I think when I first got to New York, the older cats used to call it the apprenticeship program. It's like, a young cat come to town, they play with a master, and they learn
Yes.
certain things. They learn the repertoire, of course,
Yeah.
but then they learn certain things, and then it was like, oh, now you're ready to go play with this person, and
Yes.
it was kind of that mentorship and apprenticeship concept that happened. That's kind of disappeared. I mean, it still happens, but it kind of disappeared, and I think that was the foundation of the music. It really
It's
was the
crucial,
foundation.
crucial part of the chain. That's a
Yeah,
crucial part of the chain,
yeah, yeah,
and it makes it. And also, I have to say, Dion, that we take for granted that uh, one thing that you learn, and I learn from people like you also, is the stories. The stories, just hearing you tell stories. That's the wonderful thing. You hear stories, like stories about so and so in the 90s, in the 60s,
yeah,
and stories, because
yeah.
that makes you dream, and that
Hmm.
makes you, go for it. And you say, okay, let me try that. I heard that so and so used to practice with that, blah, blah. The
Right.
stories. That's a wonderful thing, man.
It is a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing. And your story, I mean, I'm always really excited when I speak to someone from the Caribbean, because I know the challenges. It's beautiful growing up in the Caribbean, but it also has its challenges.
Big time. Big time.
So, but
Oh,
everybody has a unique story, but it comes back to the same thing. I left because,
mhm.
opportunities, one,
Yes.
education, two, family, three, type of stuff. But then everybody had that yearning to go back, and I think if you could bridge that gap and be able to go back and forth, which you've done, makes a big difference. I was fortunate enough to invite you to come to St. Thomas and
Oh, man.
and be one of the mentors in a program that we did for 7 weeks with the Department of Education, and it really helped with the kids, and they still talk about that experience and how grateful you are in sharing your information with them and stuff. So it's obvious that you're a very passionate person.
Oh,
Uh,
that was a great time. I still have pictures that I see them from those
yeah,
days. Yes, man. Oh, man.
yeah. So your students will be very happy with you. I can say.
Be a hang. For sure. It's gonna be a good
So
hang.
so that's. I mean, you as an educator, I know that's going to be fine. So let's talk real quick about your compositions, because you shared some music with us, and I want to share it with
Yes.
the audience. But let's talk about your composition approach, because
Uh-huh.
you have some great music, and when you write. I know you studied mallets and stuff and piano,
Yes.
so let's tell our audience what's your inspiration when you write when you're writing.
Good. So I never studied actual harmony or theory. I never got into that formally. So I usually play by ear, and I don't play the piano very well, but I can just find the notes. So the way I write, it took me a minute, and I tell you how it happened. I fell in love with the music of Fela Kuti, the Afrobeat,
Yeah.
the Quiero Afrobeat, because I said, man, this is great because it's very simple. I can play all those genres that I like in one stage. I can play jazz, funk, and Afro and stuff like that. So it was perfect for me to come on a Christmas and play those gigs because we didn't much rehearsal. It was a jam, you
Hmm.
know. So I started playing that music, and then one day I started just playing these ideas on the piano. And for a minute, I was very insecure because I played with great composers,
Hmm.
really amazing composers. Miguel, I said, man, Henry. So it took me a minute, but then when I brought the songs to the band, one thing that I saw is that the musicians were happy to play them, and I
Right.
said, well, that's a good sign because if a musician is happy to play the chart, that means there's something that they like that is special,
Hmm.
you know. So I said, maybe I'm not so bad at it, and then the audience were really like the original too. So I started doing it more and more and more, and then that was it. And then the way I do it, instead of thinking about the technical aspect of the song, I just loop a section on Logic. I write a section and I loop it, and I start singing, and I take the train and I wash dishes and I go to everything until I start hearing what's the next section.
Right. Right.
So I hear the overtones of that section A. That's gonna tell me where the song is going. And then
Okay.
I take that demo and I take it to the grocery store and I take it to a train. And then on the train in New York, I say maybe that's wrong because I go by the feeling of how it feels in the body. And
Right.
then when I have 5 demos, I take them to the gym in the morning. So if I don't want to keep listening during the workout, that means I don't like it so much. So that's the way I test the compositions. That's the way. Basically, that's the way I test. If it makes me work out and have a good time, then the songs are good. If it makes me want to skip them, no, they're not so good.
That's
And
that's interesting, man. I've never heard this type of
so
concept
it's
before, but
very, it's very, it's very related to the way the body reacts to the music.
right. Right.
and,
Okay.
and then also then I discovered about the frequency. Depending on the frequency that you vibrating, you're gonna go for different textures, different tones, and stuff like that.
Right.
Uh, so that's my process. Really, is my process. so
That's great. That's your secret. You
so
shared your
it's a
secret.
lot. It's a lot by ear, but I have routines for many years that at 5 a.m. I listen to one album. I did that for many years. So
Mhm.
I'm constantly learning music, and also it's very important to say that I memorize all the music that I play with. The people that I play with, I memorize their chart. So
Right.
when you do that over 20 years, 15 years, you have a lot of knowledge of form,
Yeah.
you know, and harmony and metric stuff that you can do, especially playing with Miguel. So I have to say that in a way, Miguel's has been my composition teacher because when I learned his music from memory for 20 years, I know about form,
Right.
or I can understand how he organized the material and stuff like that. And he's a great composer. So
Yeah. That's a great concept, man. I've never heard that being put that way. I know drummers do it differently because we a lot of us are not versed melodically, but
yes,
I like your concept. I got to try
then
that.
you must try it, and then you do a demo, and then let the section A, because what I saw is that jazz musicians that train very formally trained, they always go on the piano and they go for the technical stuff, for the okay, this is the way it should go. Is that you know But instead of doing that, how about if you hear where the song really wants to take you? Let
Hmm.
it be. Just let the song tells you where to go. You
Hmm.
know, so sometimes you hear it right away. Sometimes you hear it in a few days.
Right.
Oh, this should go this way, or this should go that way. And then I have to say that the last thing that I play is the drums. I play all the instruments on Logic. So all my music, the demo sounds exactly the same. I write the bass line, the guitar lines, everything.
Okay.
and then I stopped writing with my band. I stopped writing chords because again, jazz musician will see the chord and then just play the chord, right? Instead of hearing. So does it make sense with the melody? So
Right.
I write no chords because I know it's not so hard anyways. So if you want to go out of what is written, then it's because you hear it.
Okay.
So it's forced the especially guitar players and bass players, because then they just play the chord, but that maybe that knows they don't make sense with the melody.
Right.
So I let them play what is written, and if they want to go away from that, it's because they hear what is going on. So
I got you.
so that helps them to be. It be, I mean, it becomes very more musical to me in that approach. Yeah.
Right. And a lot of your music, for lack of a better word, I'm not saying
Uh-huh.
it is because you're combining different elements of Afrobeat and Cuba and salsa and
Yes.
bomba and bata and swing.
Yeah. Mhm.
You could say it's experimental modern music. You can, I
Yes.
mean, yeah,
You can. You can.
yeah, you're trying the different things. You're trying the things that you like and that inspire you.
That's
You know,
it. That's
it's
it.
not a traditional jazz album, and that's what I like about it. And
That's it.
I've always said that the Caribbean is one of the uncharted areas of music that most people think when they think of the Caribbean, they think of calypso and like Dizzy Gillespie,
Yeah,
you
of
know. But
course.
yeah,
Manteca,
so
that's it. That's it. But
yeah, yeah,
no, and
but
also the songs that you write is a result. Is the result of your experiences.
right,
So if you don't have experiences, what kind of songs are you going to write?
right,
You know. So you need to learn repertoire, play with people, play with different band leaders, see how they conduct the band. Play different charts, different genres, and then you do that blend, and then you start writing your ideas. And and
yes,
and also another thing, if, when these rock and roll songs, three chords, that's it. So I said, okay, if they can do it with three chords, I should be able to write something. you know, I should be able to write something. And so little by little, I became more, more. Let's say I felt better about myself writing music.
okay, well, great. So, what's the name of your band?
Well, I started calling my first one was called the Afrobeat Collective, but then the whole discussion about is that Afrobeat or no, blah blah blah. So I changed the name to Villa Locura. Villa Locura is a neighborhood where I grew up in the west in Añasco, Puerto Rico.
Okay, great, great.
Yeah,
And you have three recordings, right, as a
two
leader?
recordings. Yes, I do have two recordings out. My first was in 2011. My first songs. Uh, then the other one during COVID, and there was one album that it took me a long time, like 10 years, to complete it because I recorded Electric Lady with the full band. It was a big project, you know.
Okay, okay.
Uh, but I made it happen. I made it happen. It was a big project.
Okay, great. So the music we're gonna be hearing today is from which album? It's from
There's different. There's music from Buscando la Vida and also from the Mayagüez. There's those two
okay,
albums. Yes,
okay. The Mayagüez and Buscando la Vida.
La
Okay,
Vida.
great.
That's correct.
So the first song that you shared with us is a song called El Diablo.
Okay, let's start by that. Yeah, let's start. So El Diablo is the first time I do an arrangement. This is not an original song. This is a song by Rafael Hernandez, which is considered maybe the greatest Puerto Rican composer and one of the greatest of Latin America, Rafael Hernandez. And he wrote this song, El Diablo, and it was made very famous by Rey Barreto in the album Indestructible. You know,
Hmm. Okay.
it was a classic. It's a classic song. And one day, uh, I started to do an arrangement of the song. Just taking it very basic and doing the arrangement. Not trying to be better or fancy, just going with the basic because I heard some drumming behind it. And then I showed it to Luis Perdomo, the piano player, the pianist. And Perdomo said, "Why don't you ask Tito Allen to sing it?" And Tito Ale was the original song from Rey Barreto, the
Mm.
original singer from Rey Barreto. So at the beginning he was saying no, but then he agreed to sing it. So it's the second version that exists after the one of Rey Barreto of Tito singing that song, El Diablo.
Okay, great.
So I did the whole arrangement and everything. Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. Well, let's check this out. This is entitled El Diablo.
Good.
A ver, vamos allá.
No puedes conmigo.
Diablo, que tú no puedes conmigo.
Pero conmigo no puedes, no.
Diablo,
Yo sé que me andas buscando y quieres verme caer.
diablo,
Yo sé que me andas buscando y quieres verme caer.
diablo,
Pero yo también soy fuerte. Yo no caigo, Lucifer, no, no, no.
diablo, que tú no puedes conmigo.
Pero conmigo no puede, no.
Diablo, que tú no puedes conmigo.
No puede, no puede, no puede, no puede. Te lo digo yo.
Diablo, que tú no puedes conmigo. Oye, diablo, que tú no puedes conmigo.
Gozando. Luis Perdomo. Ya sí.
I love that arrangement, man. You know what I'm hearing on the bottom of all of that?
Yeah,
That bomba is like,
that's one by one.
oh man, we got I'm a composer, Henry, and I love how you combine Afrobeat with complex progressive jazz, funk, and spoken word poetry. Yeah, man.
Thank you, Brady. Thank you so much.
I'm from Puerto Rico, and I love the way you combine traditional rhythms like bomba and plena. Yeah, yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. Yeah, you can hear it. I mean, and that's the beauty of coming from that culture. You could take a song like that and put all these other elements on top, but the underlying foundation, even if somebody from Puerto Rico is not a fan of jazz, but they hear this, the fact that it has that bomba in it, but then you have all this improvisational elements.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, and also the way the group is built is based on you had different layers because you had the son montuno church,
yep,
and but the drums is double time, and
right,
then
right,
the bomba
exactly.
and all that stuff. So it's kind of layers and layers. It's very fun. That's Luis Perdomo on the Fender Rhodes,
Okay,
and the whole
yeah,
band is playing together at the Electric Lady Studios in New York. You know.
beautiful, beautiful. It's great, great, and I love Tito Allen did a great job.
Tito Allen was 73 years old there.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. I mean, and again, from a drummer standpoint, you can hear from the ground of the rhythm, the harmony, you can hear all of those things. It's
Thank
really
you.
great. I love that. I love that. Well, man, let's continue because we have some more music to share with our audience. And the next song you sent us is Shinobi.
Shinobi, yes. So Shinobi is based on the image of the ninja.
Hmm.
Shinobi means ninja, he who hides. And for a very long time, I've been inspired by the Japanese culture and the concept of the ninjas. And I think the way I relate it to that figure is that sometimes, in this career in this world, you have to put your feelings, like hide your feelings, and then just develop the strength to continue. Even though if you sometimes you're sad and you don't want to leave people behind or leave places behind, and you gotta just kind of dress with your armor or your ninja dress and just to keep going.
Yeah.
Uh, and also that song, it is very simple, but it was the hardest tune to play on the album because I knew I had either one or two takes because that was it. Because the song is built on the mood. So I knew that if I didn't get it on the second take, I was gonna try the next day because there was no way I could go past that because the bass is two notes. You're gonna hear the bass line is two notes. So everything happens in the intensity of the tone. And
Right.
then it's also a tune that you're gonna hear that is kind of swinging. There's a lot of straight ahead, but also not necessarily very implicit, but it's implicit the straight ahead influence.
Okay.
And
Great.
emotionally to me it's a very dense uh, song. So I hope you like it.
Well, we'll check it out.
Yeah.
Shinobi. Yeah, I heard the concept. Yeah, you really avoid predictable grooves. Cool. Yeah.
You hear the swing underneath.
Yeah. But it's not easy to do. Like you say, it's a mood piece.
It's a
It's a
mood
mood
piece.
piece, yeah. And
Very hard.
you have to be able to keep that energy flowing throughout and yeah,
Yes.
lay in the groove.
And be alive, but also constant, but not rush, not like. It also has a lot of the New Orleans. You know,
Yeah.
I love that song.
That's great. And this is one of your compositions.
Yes, everything I write everything, and the saxophone player is now studying in Switzerland. He's a young tenor player from Puerto Rico. He moved to Switzerland to study, and he's a great talent. You know,
What's his name?
Jonathan Acevedo.
Acevedo.
Jonathan Acevedo, great, and all that band, that full band is from Puerto Rico. We did that during the COVID, times. So it was a great experience. So it's a full Puerto Rican band.
That's great. Beautiful. It's a great band. Sounds great.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So moving on.
Yes.
You shared with us another song. This is Calle Estación.
Calle Estación, yeah. So we are at a Electric Lady studio recording, right? Who's in the room? Panayotis, Adam Rogers, Jonathan Powell. The whole cast in New York in the main studio. We're recording this song, and then all of a sudden, after the take, Adam Rogers says, "Man, why we just don't jam? Why don't we just jam?" And I said, "Sure, let's jam. You start." And so this became a track. So this is a jam session, basically. In the Electric Lady, we took, I think we took kind of the vibe of the take that we were trying to record, the actual song,
Yeah.
and then he started, and then everything followed. And it's a jam session, and that became one of the tracks. So everything is just happening at the moment. It's like all the guys. I think we're 12 guys playing together, and it just jammed in Electric Lady in New York. Yeah, so that's it.
Okay. All right. Well, let's check this out.
Yes, it's a jam
Calle
session.
Estación.
That's a jam session.
it sounds like Felokoti meet Bomba.
Totally, totally. And at the end, we all clap and we say, we all clapping. It's like, yeah.
Yeah. Wow, this is how awesome. You combine Afro Puerto Rican rhythms, dynamic jazz improvisation, and improv collaborations with other band members. Yeah. Yeah, man. It's a great concept. I mean, sometimes you never know what comes out of it.
It's very special because when I was listening to this track, I said, okay, here's 10 musicians just jamming in the studio. There's always something happening. There's dynamic. There's no click track. There's nothing. Just people playing.
Mhm.
That's so beautiful. And not only playing, just jamming. And that's so beautiful, man. That's so missing nowadays. Just to be
Yeah.
able to do that, just to play one chord, two chords. You got it. Now I got it. You got the whole dynamic. The whole thing is, it's definitely a dream band. That one.
Do you remember all of the musicians that was
Yeah, I
on?
do. The baritone solo was Chris Chick,
Mhm.
baritone player. Adam Rogers on guitar.
Mhm.
Guilherme Monteiro from Brazil, second guitar. The bass player is Michael Olatuya from Africa also. There's Beto Torrens on percussion from Puerto Rico, Ovanilu Allende from Puerto Rico, New York. Brian Hoffman plays the checker. Jonathan Powell plays the trumpet, and Mario Castro plays the tenor, both in New York. This is a whole New York band. And myself on drums. No click, nothing, just play.
Yeah.
So it's beautiful. The tempo was steady, the groove
Yeah.
was steady. No one was trying to show off. It's just beautiful.
That's great. Well, it's good when you have a group of guys that you can work
Yeah.
with. That makes a big difference, man.
Big
So
difference. Big difference.
great. So let's round up our interview, man. Time is not on our side. This is great, but unfortunately, we got to run. But you have one more song,
Yes.
and this is called Agrippina.
Yeah, Agripina is a song for my hometown, Mayagüez, Puerto Rico.
Mm.
And it was written by Kili Bialis, the lyrics. Agripina y la Rufina, que nos vamos para Mayagüez, is the name of the city where my grandfather was the mayor for a long time, and that's where I was born. And it's a tribute to the town. It's a tribute to the town. Also recorded our Electric Lady. I have to say that when I listen to the music on the laptop now, I say that's why you want to go and mix it right with the right guys. The mixing engineer is Michael Brower, which is a legend in the music world. So I'm happy to hear this music still. That sounds so good. And that's Agripina. Yeah, rock and roll plena.
All right, let's check it out.
Yep.
Agripina, dile a Rufina que nos vamos pa' Mayagüez. Agripina, dile a Rufina que nos vamos pa' Mayagüez. Agripina, dile a Rufina que nos vamos pa' Mayagüez.
Ay, que nos vamos pa' Mayagüez, que nos vamos pa' Mayagüez.
Agripina, dile a Rufina
el tiempo de la versión de televisión de este programa La Voz Popular está llegando ya a su fin. Muchas gracias por la atención que me han prestado esta tarde y recuerden, Guardia Popular.
Ay, porque en la tierra de Mon Rivera y de Congola y también. Que si deciré para Mayagüez. Y yo me voy para la cantera para gozarlo como es. Y que dulce como dulce el malito y dulce el labio también.
That's Agrippina. Henry Cole.
It's on the heavy side.
That's on the heavy side. Yeah, man. You cover all spectrums. You have the jazz, you have the bomba, you have the rock, you have the
Yeah.
Afrobeat. That's what we talked about. You have to be versatile.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Wow. To hear the music.
Yeah, beautiful music, man. Thank you for sharing your story with us, your musical upbringings, your how should I say, your musical journey as well, and your music.
Thank you, Dion. My honor, and thank you for having me in the show.
Yes, and congratulations on the new professor job,
Thank you.
and good luck with everything. We'll be in touch.
I'll be calling you many times.
Yes, anytime. And I would love to have you back on the show. I would love to do a show on just the rhythms of Puerto Rico and stuff like that. That's something we should talk about.
Let's do it. And there's a lot of folklore and then great musicians playing in the island. And
Yes.
same thing in St. Thomas. So anytime.
Yes,
And I want to say hello to everyone who was watching the show. Thank you for being there, listening, supporting the show.
Yes, and let the audience know how they can follow you. Do you have a website or?
Yes, I do have a website. You type Henry Cole drums or Henry Cole music or jazz, and it will come up. My website, Instagram, and all those platforms. And my music on Spotify, iTunes Music. So yeah, everything's there.
Great. Well, Henry, thank you. It's been an honor and a pleasure, my brother. Continued success.
You have a great studio too. You have a great studio, Dion. I can see it.
All right, man. Thank you. You take care. We'll talk soon. Okay.
Bye bye.
All the best. That's the great Henry Cole in Puerto Rico, my drummer brother. Great musician, man. Check out his music. Check him out. Support him, please. And thank you for coming and joining us tonight on Sounds of the Diaspora. That was Henry Cole, and just support him. Come back next week as we bring you another amazing Caribbean musician. This is saxophonist, the great Arturo Tapin. So thank you for joining us tonight. Really appreciate it. Have a good evening. Take care, everyone. Good night.